What's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bang, coming to you live right here, Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, Thunderbolt, Georgia. Another episode of Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Rubbin' is racing, grubbin' is tasting. Man, I hope everybody's having a good Wednesday night out there. We got some NASCAR news to go over, recapping that Vegas race. Looking forward to Phoenix. Man, I tell you what, it's been a good year so far. So if you're new to tune into the show, the way we like to start it out is what we call the word of the day. All right, I have no idea what it's going to be, but Lawrence is going to throw it up. Every time I say that word, you're going to take a sip of your favorite adult beverage. I always like to say, if you're under the age of 21, you can play along. Sweet tea, Kool-Aid, Red Bull, whatever it may be, man. Have some fun on Wednesday, stay up late. So this week's word is going to be, I have no idea, but make sure you play along, y'all. So getting into the NASCAR news, and hey, it didn't take long, 3 races in, and Kyle Young Money Larson already had the checkered flag under his belt for 2024. I tell you, that was a great run by that 5 team there, that 5 Chevy team for Hendrick Motorsports. Just absolutely dominated that race. But yeah, came home, first one of 2024. We'll see. Larson's going to have a lot of wins this year. What do you think, Lawrence?
7.
Lawrence says 7. That sounds a good number. I like Lawrence's number. I'll stick with 7 too, man. What the hell? Who cares? But, yeah, good run there, man. So, do have to give a big shout out, y'all, to the man, the myth, the legend, the up-and-coming legend, Roger Carruth, man. I tell you what, big round of applause for Roger, because that was an awesome deal there in that truck race, man. Got his first Truck Series win this past weekend. You know, he's driving Hendrick Cars sponsored Spire Motorsports truck, and I tell you what, you're really getting to see this kid's talents that he has behind the wheel of really good equipment. So I think we're on to something. I think we're going to see something really neat. I really hope that, you know, Roger goes out and continues the success that he has started off with, and just keeps grinding it out and gets some more wins, man. I really think this guy can be really good depending on where he goes and what he does. So you know, young, got a lot to learn, a long way to go in the sport, but I tell you what, that's a good way to go out and knock off that first truck win, man. That was an awesome deal. So also got a penalty to go over from Las Vegas there. Obviously, if anybody watched the race, Chris Buescher's wheel came off there, and that's a penalty. So level 1, 2 crew members suspended for the next 2 races. That's going to hurt a little bit. There again, you know, it's kind of plug and play. We talked about it a couple years ago of how valuable I felt like pit crew members were going to become, top-notch pit crew guys were going to become because of instances like this and where you had teams that were going to start. Now, we've kind of got the wheel issues somewhat figured out to where it's not every week we're having a wheel or 2 or 3 loose from a car and guys are getting suspended. We've kind of tightened that up a little bit. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's part of it, man, and it happens. So hate it for them, but they'll rebound. They'll be all right. If you haven't yet, you guys, please go out, like, share, follow, all that social media. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook. But most of all, hit and subscribe to that YouTube channel. You know, we're giving away the helmet, the awesome Alex Bowman helmet. You guys have been hearing us talk about this, just like that Harvick helmet. You can go in, subscribe to that YouTube channel, hit it in the comments, hashtag Bowman the Showman. And like I said, we're going to randomly, at some point in time this year, give this one away too. So it's a really good looking helmet. That Harvick helmet was matte finish. This one's actual gloss finish, and pretty neat looking helmet, man. I like it. So if you got any Bowman fans out there, let them know. Subscribe to Rubbin' and Grubbin' and got a chance to win the helmet. So speaking of penalties, this is pretty interesting. Reading the article, you know, after that race came out, and if you watched the race on Sunday, you saw the celebration that Kyle Larson did. Oh, and his son, you know, ran over, and daughter's there, and they get on top of the car, and, you know, he's standing on the car. And there were people out there that was like, well, that's going to be a penalty. What if he did this? What if he did that?
Come on, man.
And Elton Sawyer came out today and said, look, there's no penalty that's coming down. This is what we found. You know, obviously the roots of NASCAR are centered around family. This is going to be an awesome experience and memory that they're going to remember forever as a family. He goes, you know, we'll readdress it if it gets into the future where we feel like something was done intentional or something definitely isn't going to pass inspection from celebration. Then he goes, then we'll talk accordingly then. But really like to hear those words from him. There again, I thought it was awesome. I mean, we've seen it with Keelan and we've seen it with, you know, Brexton and all these other, you know, young kids, you know, driver sons and daughters that are out there. And that's what it's all about. I mean, honestly, you know, NASCAR is centered around family. I mean, look at the names that have been in the sport forever, and you know, you'll understand. It's a family thing. So, good move by NASCAR there for not penalizing for sure. So, getting into it, man. favorite part of the show. We're getting into the checkered flag for charity. As I said, I already owe $1 to the swear bucket. I thought, I already threw one in there. All right, $1 into the swear bucket in there, man. But the way we do it here on Rubbin' and Grubbin' is whatever car number wins that race, we donate into the checkered flag for charity. Bam, man. 5 a Larson won. Anything under Christopher Bell, and that 20 is always a 20. We throw that bad boy in there. Look, really good shout out to everybody that came up this past weekend out here to the Soundgarden at Coaches and contributed into that cooler full of joy. As you know, like I said, we're raising it for Logan. There again, died in a motorcycle accident. Big part of the community did a lot for the community. Leaves behind a couple small children. So we're doing it for him. And actually one of his buddies, Andrew, won it. Andrew D won it, lucky winner of it. But raised right at almost $400 off that cooler. So thank you again to everybody that came out, brought a little extra money for the feel good and bought some raffle tickets. That's really awesome. 3 weeks into the year brings us up to $553. That's not bad, but we're going to keep going, man. We're going to make some good money for them, raise some money, help with these kids' educational fund, and just keep it going, man. I feel like that's what this community is all about, NASCAR in general and coaches and Savannah area. People are here to help. So like I say all the time, doesn't matter, nickels, pennies, dimes, 10, 20s, 150s, whatever you got to give. If you're at Coaches, man, say you want to donate in a checkered flag for charity. If you come up to those Soundgarden events, bring a little extra money. We've got the coolers. We're going to do some other stuff for the summer coming up. Going to have some tickets to give away. So like I said, just make sure you're coming up, supporting Coaches, and helping us raise some money for Logan's family, man. So getting into the who's hot and who's not, but before we do, got to give a big shout out there to my main man, Parker Eccles, owner-operator over there at Arbor Man Tree Service, one of the great sponsors we have on Rubbin' and Grubbin', the best tree service in the Savannah area. Locally owned, locally operated, insured, doesn't matter what it is. You need something done, full tree removal, stump grinding, getting some limbs cut back. If you just need an estimate on what you need going on, before we get into hurricane season here later on, give Parker a call. I'd be more than glad to come out. Hey, you mentioned Rubbin' and Grubbin'. He might even hook you up a little something. I don't know. That's up to him, but you never know. Worth a shot. So, Parker, love you, brother. Hope you're healing up quick, man. But, like I said, tree service needs. Arbor Man Tree Service, Parker Eccles, man. No job too big, too small, no tree too tall, baby. Give Parker a call, man. You know it. So, love you, dude. But getting into that who's hot, and I mean, as if it's going to be any kind of secret. I mean, Kyle Larson literally just took over the #1 spot. I mean, after that dominating performance at Vegas, swept the race, won both stages, and got the race win. I think the 5 team just showed you where they're standing right now, as far as where they're at and what they're ready for. They're going to be something to reckon with at a lot of different places. We all know Kyle's a great driver. Cliff Daniels, awesome crew chief, and the crew in general there on that 5 team is hands-on, one of the top 3 in the sport. So going to be interesting. Like I said, me and Lawrence are thinking 7. I think last year, what did he end up with last year, 5? I think he had 5 or 6 last year, 5 I think. Probably could have had 8.
No championship. Oh,
no championship, but he probably could have had 8. Probably could have had at least 8. He lost a few of them there. Darlington, Kansas when Hamlin got him. He lost a couple other ones too. So, 7's a good number. I think me and Lawrence did all right. Lawrence hit it on the head with the 7. I think that's a good number. But, hey, young Ryan Blaney, baby, second on the list. Lawrence's man. Lawrence has got he's cussing over there. I'm going to throw $1. He's throwing up the forward symbol. We don't like that. But I tell you what, on its hair, the Daytona 500 has only been his somewhat bad race, and that was kind of, beyond his control there. But after that, man, he's been on a roll. So, again, I think this is his back-to-back top 3 finishes there. Finished second at Atlanta and then turned around and finished third this past weekend there at Vegas. So, 12 teams there, man. I think if you look as a whole, I think Logano's had a little more speed, but just hadn't been able to put it together. Bad luck on race day for sure for the 22 team. But the 12's got it going on. So really like to see that young guy keep it going. I don't know if he'll go back-to-back championships. I don't know if he'll do that. But I will say this. I think he does make another deep playoff run for sure. He got hot at the right time last year. I think he showed that he's capable to do that. I would just like to see him go out and have 3 or 4 win season. I would like him to win some regular season races this year. But we'll have to see what he does. But right now, #2 on the list, man. Last but not least, come on, man. Chevy's on the hot, on the hot, baby. They've won all races this year, man. I mean, what's going on? Nobody can beat the Chevys right now. I mean, before we got this new body and they're fast and winning poles and this and that, they can't beat the Chevys, man. So, yeah, Chevrolet's got it going on. I think the disadvantage that you're running into is definitely super speedways with the nose of the Camaro compared to the Mustang and the Camry. But, I mean, at the end of the day, they've got it figured out. They're still good at doing what they're doing, and it's going to be a Chevy championship, man. Ford's not winning this one, all right? Chevy's coming back. Chevy's getting the championship this year. You heard it here first. Who it's going to be, I have no idea. I have no idea yet, but it's going to be a Chevy, and probably a Hendrick Chevy. Maybe the 24 and 24. We'll have to wait and see how it goes, but 5. Lawrence says 5, which is probably a good bet. I mean, if you're going to bet on one, that's probably the best bet to make, but we'll see how it goes, man. All right, into the who's not, and I hate to put him on here because I like the kid, and he's got a lot of talent, and he's really young, and he's got a lot of experience for being as young as he is, but Christopher Bell right now, man, he can't catch a break. I don't think that he's going to stay on the not list. There again, we're coming into some tracks I think that he runs a little bit better at than others. Just this year has not started the way I think that 20 team really wanted the year to start. So right now on the not, but like I said, I don't see him there too long. A few more weeks. By race 10, I would think he's definitely got it figured out and getting some consistency going and staying out of trouble for sure. So also on the not list, and I can't really go too hard on him because he's got his rookie stripe, but Zane Smith, man, I tell you, it's hadn't had any luck at all in the Cup Series yet. And we know the kid's got talent. We watched what he did in the Truck Series down there and really just, kicked butt for a while. So it's going to be interesting to see, you're making the leap. I mean, it's something totally different in the next-gen car compared to what you're running in trucks and then to even Xfinity now. So there's really no correlation. So it shouldn't hinder him by not being, from getting to one and doing this. I mean, he's got to learn to drive it either way. And he's got talent. Like I said, he's just a rookie. I think he's young. He's got to figure it out. There again, Spire has shown some speed at times. A host of ours had some pretty good runs. So I see Zane, kind of working his way off of the not list here at some point in time. I can't bash him too hard. Like I said, he's a rookie, so I'm not going to go in too hard on him. And last but not least, and it's going to be on the not list all year long, mufflers. It's just that simple. We're saying no to mufflers, so. All right, getting ready to get into the Vegas recap, y'all. But before we do, we're going to pause for station identification right here on Coach's Corner Sports Network. Cheers, y'all.
Hey, Nats are on the not list.
Nats will definitely be on the not list here over the next few months back here. They're ready. Yeah, the Nats are bad. I'll do the Nats, though. It's when we get into the heat and the Nats that I really start hating it up here. But you only got a few months of it. They go away. All right. So into the Vegas recap, man. As I mentioned earlier, awesome job there by that 5 team. I tell you what, Kyle Larson, Cliff Daniels, probably, if not the best, top 2 crew chief driver combo in the sport right now. They know each other. They figure it out. Cliff gives them a good car every week. Obviously, I really don't think it matters if he had that great of a car or not. He's still going to wheel the hell out of it. That's what he does. But at the end of the day, they're on fire, man. Got that win at Vegas, first win. You got some good tracks for Kyle Larson coming up. We'll have to see what he does, but I can tell you if that car they brought there, if they bring a piece like that to 1.5 miles this year, is going to be something to deal with. So we'll have to see. But right now, like I said, killing it, man. Tyler Reddick might have been the only guy I think there at Vegas that really had something for him. You kind of saw it at the end of stage 1. I'm pretty sure it was stage 1 there when he was coming down. Laps were coming down at the end of the stage, and Reddick really had a good car catching up to him. And you saw it again at the end of the race, right? He had a really good long-run car. It's just, getting to him, getting to Larson, and then passing Larson was 2 totally different things. So, once he started getting a little closer, he pushed the air on him, started taking his line away. Got a little closer for comfort than I wanted because I had Larson up here in our game of skill, all right? I didn't want to see that go away, but got the job done. But, yeah, big shout out to the 45 team, too. Looked really strong there. Even last year when we were talking about Tyler Reddick, he had a really good runs at a couple 1.5 miles and just had some bad luck. So we'll see what he gets done this year. But right now, like I said, looking good, man. Ross Chastain, probably not my favorite cup of tea at all. You guys know me. I'm not a Watermelon Man fan at all. But at the end of the day, he did have some cool comments, and I don't know if they were smart ass or if he was actually being truthful. But he was talking about Ryan Blaney and using air blocks, and he goes, he's gotten a lot better since we did this last year at Phoenix. So going to be interesting to see where we go forward. But I don't know if Chastain was joking or being a smart ass or what. But cool comments there. I'll agree with him on that. Toyota, awesome at Vegas. I'll tell you that. Let's see, 45, 11, 19, and 54, all in the top 10. So you had 3 Gibbs cars. and a 2311 car, all right there. Toyota, manufacturer-wise, had the most cars in the top 10. Chevy and Ford were both split right behind, but man, Toyota, I tell you what, they had it going on, man. They're fast. You know, they again didn't get the win, but we know mile and a half, I think, is Toyota's sweet spot. We saw it last year at Kansas numerous times. We saw it a lot of different places that they went. We saw those Toyotas, especially the JGRs, be really strong, and the 2311s. So I think it's something to keep an eye on. There again, I still think Chevy has the upper hand as we go forward on mile and a half right now after what we just saw. But at the end of the day, all that can change. We all know once you get about 10 wins under your belt, we're just now getting into the regular season. I feel like Atlanta and Daytona are, you know, super speedways back to back now. We're now getting into the nitty gritty of what it really is to make up the schedule. So what we're going to see over the next, 6 to 7 weeks is really going to give you an idea of who's got it figured out early in the year. Now, we know when we hit summer, some guys catch up, some fall off. So it changes as we continue to go. But like I said, right now I'll go Chevy and Toyota on those mile and a halves for sure. So all in all, another great race, man. I mean, I've read some comments out there, and a lot of people were talking about it being a little boring and this and that, but no, I mean, not to me at all. I mean, Vegas always gives you that big runs, multi-lane. You get 4 wide, 3 wide, side-by-side racing a good bit of the race. So that was a really good race. I think the racing so far this year has been really good, but we're going to talk about that a little bit more in the show. But I'll tell you what, if they keep it up and keep going and doing what they're doing now, man, this could be an awesome, awesome NASCAR season for sure. All right, so getting into the Phoenix preview, y'all, and this one's important. All right, if there's one that you have circled on the calendar that you want to bring a good piece of equipment and run really well at, it's Phoenix. All right, and it's because it's the championship race at the end of the year. This is the one time you get to go hit this track now, and you won't see it again until November. And yeah, it'll change, weather change, different things, but at least you'll be able to have some good data to go off of and maybe build this championship car you're going to bring championship weekend to Phoenix. So this is your one shot. You want to complete the laps. You want to bring a good piece. You want to unload fast. Take that data back home, build an even better car. So it's really, really good job. Really unique track. Restarts are going to be crazy. We all know the dog legs nuts on restarts. But, at the end of the day, Ryan Blaney came home victorious, locked up that championship last year at Phoenix, had probably the best car out there all day long, was really fast. He got frustrated on the radio last year, which I think this year the stress isn't there. We're not in championship form yet. I think he'll run pretty good. But at the end of the day, can somebody beat him? Who's going to take the checkers, man? Make sure you guys are looking for something to do on Sunday. Come up to Coach's Corner, NASCAR on every Sunday. So come up and find out. Let's see if somebody else comes home to the checkers or Ryan goes back-to-back there at Phoenix. So top 5. I just mentioned them, you guys. I mean, I got to take Ryan Blaney. The year before when Logano won that championship, Ryan probably had the best car, finished second, just kind of helped block the field for Logano to win it. Whatever. This past year, he got his own championship, dominated that race, looked really good. So I'll go number 1. I got to take young Ryan Blaney. 2 for me, we talked about him earlier, Kyle Larson. I mean, how can you not take young money anywhere you go? He's got to be in that top 5 list, just that good. 3 for me, Joey Logano has a knack for Phoenix. If they bring good equipment, he runs pretty halfway decent there. We saw him get that win with the championship. So we'll see what they bring. He hadn't quite had that luck yet. Like I said, fast. A lot of fast equipment, just hadn't got the finishes I think that they're hunting. But at the end of the day, I'll take Logano 3. 4 for me, got to be, William the Kid Byron. I mean, Willie B has got to be number 4. I mean, there again, very fast, won the Daytona 500. Had some bad luck this past week at Vegas, unfortunately, and a little short note on that, I read an article today, they found a beer can inside the air filter. So that'll tell you, that was some issues for Byron there at Vegas. But, looking good. Most wins on the season last year. I think you're going to see something very similar this year. 4 or 5 wins out of that car. I think Hendrick as a total will probably win, well, let's go 13, 14 races this year, I think. Maybe between all their drivers, 13 to 14 races. That's a good number. 5 for me, and I don't put him on the list often. The Watermelon Man. Really strong car there in the fall. We were there in November again. I think that he can go out and get it done this time. Suarez got the win there at Atlanta. I know Ross is hungry to go back out and get a win. He kind of fell off there last year after the talk with Mr. Hendrick and, Justin Marks talking to him. It kind of, I don't know if he lost the fire or was just more aware of what he was doing than just letting it all hang out. But hopefully he lets it all hang out some more as long as he's just not taking out Elliott and not costing me money on Sundays, and I'm okay with that. So dark horses, and they're really not too bad this week. 54 of Ty Gibbs. I think when you're seeing what he's doing this year as a young kid that he is, and you saw it in glimpses last year, we know he's got talent. We know he's got really good equipment. I think if there's somewhere he can go and get it done, Phoenix could be a place. I'm still thinking a mile and a half. I'm thinking of Kansas or, I don't, Charlotte maybe. I don't know. But I'm thinking of Kansas would be one circled for sure that he could go out and get it done. But dark horse, I'll take him this week. And, a couple other guys you can really look at, but I'm waiting on Brad Keselowski to have a good run. Phoenix really hadn't been his place to do it. So maybe we go Kyle Busch there, but I'm thinking Keselowski maybe might have a good run there. I don't know, a little dark horse. I mean, there's so many young kids now that are in, with Gregson coming back, and you've got, Zane Smith and Carson Hocevar and all these guys. Yeah, I'd love to say, yeah, they're going to have a good run, but I'm just unsure. I have no idea, so I'll go with something I know. We'll take Keselowski as a dark horse. So getting into the money line presented by Redfin Polarized. Hey, man, like I said, whether you got money on the line or a wall hanger, make sure you see it clearly with the best polarized sunglasses on the planet. Italian frames, Carl Zeiss lenses. I tell you what, the customer service from top to bottom, company-wise at Redfin, is awesome. These glasses are made for the woods, the water. Doesn't matter what it is, man. Make sure you get your set of Redfins. Go check out their website. They're constantly coming out with some new styles, new collabs. They've got a set that I've been trying to get. They're sold out. They sell out really quick. I will tell you guys that. So if you find them and you want them, you better get them because they go quick. But an awesome, awesome deal. And when you go to checkout, use code Rubbin'n'Grubbin15, save you 15%, man. So like I said, check them out. And as always, live life fins up. Redfin, baby. So getting into the money line, man, and winner chicken dinner. I tell you what, me and Lawrence had an all right weekend. It wasn't too bad. Cup Series, really, we won, but it really wasn't a big payout. It wasn't anything there. But the Truck Series, baby, the Truck Series, we took the man, the myth, Raja, baby. That's it. What we get him at, too, Lawrence? You got it on here. What we get him at? 1,500. Yeah, so, man, we got him at 1,500. Came out with the win. Made some money there. Love that. Lost a little bit on Saturday. I think we finished second or third again. I didn't tell Lawrence take Nemechek, which, whatever. Odds weren't that good. Anyways, I still would have liked to win it, but whatever, man. But then Sunday we had Larson. We had a couple other guys too. We had some top fives, which is new to us. We did get some top 5 odds, and top 3. Yeah, a little bit there. So yeah, we got a little bit. But on the year so far, I don't know if Lawrence has got it on the year so far or not. Nope, no on the year so far. Oh yeah, we are. We're up 535 units on the year. So. Not bad, all right? We're not bad, not great. Not where we were at last year. We were already in the goods last year, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there. It's all the end game. It doesn't matter how we start out. It's about making sure that we stay in the positive numbers. So, but yeah, man, when you're looking at it, I tell you what, the odds opening, obviously, after that win last week at Vegas, Larson opens up. I think he opens at 6 or 650. Right behind that, you got Ryan Blaney. He's coming in at 700, which is great odds for him there. I mean, we'll jump on that for sure. The 12 will definitely be in the lineup. A little bit further than that, Gibbs Toyotas have nice odds all the way around. I mean, from Denny all the way through. Ty's got obviously the biggest ones, but Denny, Martin Truex, and Christopher Bell are all sitting right there next to each other. Chase Elliott, and I hate to say this, but Chase Elliott might actually have top 3 value this week. He's coming in at like 1,800. So maybe some top 3 value, top 5 value. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to see what the odds are when we get them. But, look, just make sure you guys are following that social out there. Lawrence does a great job. Like I said, we do the truck race, Xfinity race, and Cup Series race. He throws it up. Love to hear what you guys are betting on, see some of your slips, who you got your money on, what you got going on. Throw it in the comments. Definitely will get back to you on that. But make sure you follow us, see who we lock in. So, and like I said, last year, if you would have taken the bets we took and bet the same thing every week, you would have ended up, 1,400, right? 1,450? Yeah, 1,450 units on the year, man. That's not bad. So getting into the next, the hard right turn, but before we do, got to give a big shout out there to Lamar over at Lamar's Body Shop, sponsoring Rubbin' and Grubbin' again. 35 plus years of taking care of Savannah's auto collision needs, the best in the business, man. 2301 Skidaway Road, right up here. It's a hop, skip, and a jump away from Coach's. I always say it's like a win-win, right? You can drop your car for your estimate, come over to Coach's, have lunch, go back, pick it up. Lamar and his team do an amazing job. I'm telling you, doesn't matter what it is. Paint jobs, full restoration, bumper repair, hood, whatever it is you need, make sure you go check Lamar's Body Shop out. 2301 Skidaway Road. as I always say, don't settle for par. Go see Lamar, man. Love you, brother. So into the hard right turn. And this kind of has to go with the next-gen car. And we talked a lot of trash about the next-gen car for the first couple of years because it was kind of a junk there when it first came out. But it's getting better, man. So next-gen coming to bearing fruit, right? And what I mean by that is, look, the first couple of years, right, we had to give NASCAR a little bit of respect that we're going from something totally different that we've done for years to something totally new. You know, all your parts are third-party supplied to you. Basically, you're bolting it together, you're putting a setup in it, and you're going racing, right? So we complained about that a lot. We went from building chassis and shocks and brakes and rotors, I mean, building every single part that went on these race cars for a majority of it to not building hardly anything now, right? And I felt like it took, 2 years for it to finally start getting right. We are seeing some really good racing. All 3 races this year have been great. All right, Daytona and Atlanta, like I say, super speedway racing, that's going to be, it doesn't matter what it is, it's always going to be the same thing. We're going to ride around, we're going to pass, we're in groups, we're going to wait till the very end, and hopefully, we're there and survived, right? But we just went to Vegas. That mile and a half, that race was probably one of the better races I've seen in Vegas over the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, that was a really good race. I mean, yeah, Larson got out and dominated it, but you did have Reddick coming there at the end. But all over that track, there was racing. And TV doesn't really do it justice. You really have to go in person to see all the stuff that's going on. And they had issues there at Vegas with the wind, so they had some of the aerial shots they normally didn't have, and so on and so forth. But I think the next-gen car is coming into fruit, man. I really do. I think that, the mile and a half program is definitely the bread and butter for that car. I think that NASCAR really needs to take a look into maybe revamping some of these mile and a halves that we let go. Kentucky, Chicagoland is 2 that comes to my mind that aren't too far gone. You could probably save. But it's getting the kinks worked out, man. I think teams have really figured out what setups work. I think Goodyear's done a great job with the tire compounds that they're bringing now. We're not having blowouts. We're not having wheels loose off cars we did last weekend, but the lug nuts for the most part are figured out. The only big question that remains are short track, right? The short track package in the next-gen car, we all don't like it. We all complain about it. We're all going, man, Martinsville isn't Martinsville anymore. Bristol isn't Bristol. I don't really know what the answer is for that, right? But we're going to see if the testing and stuff that they did in the offseason and the teams being able to maybe hint on a little bit of a different setup than what we've done the last couple of years. We'll see if the racing gets better, all right? I'm going to give them this year for the short track package, for the racing to get better. If it's not better by the end of this year, they just need to give them a whole bunch of horsepower and let them drive the car through the throttle, because that's the only way I think that you're actually going to get back to Martinsville that we used to have. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes, man. But, hey, look, I'm a fan of it right now. Like I said, the next gen right now, mile and a half, bread and butter, great racing, awesome to see. Will it continue? I don't know. Only time will tell. But like I said, I'm ready to see some other mile and a halves because that racing was great. So that's going to do it for the rubbing. We are on to the grubbing, baby. And I just went something real basic tonight, y'all, but you can't really beat it from up here. It's one of my favorites. It's a staple. So I went some tossed tendies. And I go Texas Pete and butter. I do the hot stuff, too, that they do. I've got Reaper sauce at home. I'm going to take these and coat them in Reaper sauce. But, hey, man, got the chicken, throwing Texas Pete and butter, side of blue cheese. Man, the onion rings are phenomenal. It's probably my favorite side outside of the chips. My wife loves the tots. I'm the chip and onion ring guy. Like I said, if you haven't yet, come up to Coach's, man. Check out the menu. There is not one bad thing on it. The staff, super friendly. Cooks in the back know how to handle their business, man. If you want something special, twist it up a little bit, they'll do it for you. Like I always say, from management to bartenders to wait staff, everybody's awesome here at Coach's, man. So make sure you come check it out. I always say if you hadn't been up here, like I said, you're incarcerated or dead. So definitely come up here to Coach's and check it out, man. Coach's News, we got a special show tonight. And the man, the myth, the legend, Carl DeMasi is in the house right now as we speak, man. But he's got the show coming up at 7 tonight, pretty sure 7 tonight, right after we get off for Rubbing and Grubbing. Coach is coming on. Like I say, keeping you up to date on all that local prep sports, everything national. We're getting into baseball season, Coach. It's not going to be long. I know, man. I know. We're going to be talking Braves and baseball, everything. Coach does an amazing job laying it down. If you haven't yet, go out, subscribe to that YouTube channel Coach has, Coach Carl DeMasi. It's an awesome deal. Like I said, basketball, football, baseball, bass fishing, which blew my mind because I'm pretty sure there was a kid from here that just got a contract or something, didn't he? What? Come on. Where was this when I was in high school, man? Like this would have been the jam for me. Perfect. Right up my alley, man. But yeah, awesome deal. Coach keeps you up to date on all that, so make sure you're tuning in tonight. Stay tuned with us, 7 o'clock. And then I'm pretty sure going to Thursdays, Coach?
I'm going to be right behind you next week
Next week, right behind me next week, and then. Yeah. That's right, man. But yeah, he'll be here Wednesday night right after me for the next couple nights, and I think he's going to go to Thursday, but we'll keep you posted on that, and Coach will as well. Oh, yeah, Will Hare's in the house again this week, too, by the way. I saw him walk up. I'm going to go talk to him here in a minute. We're going to get him on the show here next few weeks. We're going to get him up here on the show for sure. Let him talk his stuff, man. But that's going to do it. Big shout out to John and Adele Henderson again, as always. Thank you guys. I love you so much. So proud to be part of the Coaches Corner Sports Network and the Coaches family. Means the world to me right now. This is when I usually use my little outro, kind of, see what we need in the world. But I tell you what, man, self-care, man. Take care of yourself, honestly. Like, you got to put yourself first out here. We get caught up in life and relationships, and we get caught up in all this stuff, but you got to take care of yourself. And if you're not feeling okay, and your mind's not right, you can't be right. So get your mind right. Talk to somebody if you need to talk to them. Reach out to the friends. And friends, if you got a buddy out there that you know is struggling with some stuff mentally, physically, whatever it may be, man, reach out, give them a holler, check on them, make sure they're doing all right. Keep pressing the issue even if they don't want to open up. Keep pressing. Eventually it'll happen, man. But, yeah, we need a lot more self-care. Take care of yourself first, and then you can take care of everybody else around you, man. So love everybody. Thanks again for tuning in, rubbing and grubbing. I'll see y'all next Wednesday, 6 o'clock, right here in the Sound Garden. Till then, be safe. Tune in Sunday NASCAR. Come to Coaches. Love you guys. See y'all later.